Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to make this video because school starts soon, and as someone who has officially graduated, I graduated this year in August, class of 2022, and I just kind of want to give people tips and help them out as someone who's been through high school and who's experienced all the experiences in hopes to kind of make it easier, because I know when I was starting out high school, I was happy and I was very excited, but like I was not prepared for the stuff that I was kind of strapped with, and so I want other people to be prepared because I kind of wish I was more prepared. So for starters, I want to talk about courses. I don't know if you've probably heard other people say this, because a lot of people say this, but if you are a freshman, do not take AP courses your first year unless you're like really you really have it, and like you're very studious and you really just want to challenge yourself that much, or if your parents force you to take an AP class. But if you can help it, if you can choose, do not take an AP class first year. Take an AP class sophomore year, junior year, senior year. Do not take a course freshman year. And why am I saying this? Because as someone who did take an AP course freshman year, it was entirely too much for me to handle. I didn't even end up taking the AP test. Now, some people can handle it. So if you feel like you can't handle it, by all means, go and take that AP course. But if you feel like you can't, go and just stick with honors and on level. You learn the same thing, it's just slower, it's slowed down, and it kind of gives you a base to be in an AP course next year. And so, yeah, it was a lot, because not only was I trying to figure out kind of where I belonged, because I was new school, new people, it was also like, how do I like time management and organization, how freshman year is very much so trial and error. It's not easy, it is very hard, and you are going to want to scream and cry. But I promise you, it is so much fun, and when you look back on it, you're gonna be like, you're gonna really miss it. So that is my first thing I want to tell you. Do not take an AP course freshman year. The workload in and of itself is enough to kind of drown you and swamp you out. You're not going to be, because you're already going to be, you're already going to have an increased workload because you're in high school now, and each class is going to increase their workload, because in high school classes you have a lot of homework, at least for me. Now, I am born and raised Texas, and so in Texas schools, we have a lot of homework. We have a lot of everything, standardized testing, etc., etc. But for my lovelies who do take an AP course, the AP test is not something to be scared of. I don't want you to think it is something to be scared of. I'm class 2022, and so I kind of lost a lot of my junior year with the pandemic and kind of the ending of my sophomore year. And because of that, I didn't really have a good foundation to kind of fall back on when it came to education, because I missed my entire junior year. And that's kind of like the hardest year. When everyone says that's the hardest year, the reason why it's the hardest year, because I feel like it's the year you learn the most in terms of like academics and knowledge. But even still, going into my senior year, I ended up taking 3 AP classes, 3 AP tests, and I got a 3 on 2 of them and a 4 on the last one. And I took AP Bio, AP Chem, and AP Lit, and or AP English 4. But yeah, and I passed all of them. And so don't stress yourself out over those AP tests. Do not study the night before. Please do not study the night before. You're gonna freak yourself out, because you're gonna have a mental breakdown, you're gonna cry, it's not gonna be good. Because not only did I freak myself out, but I know someone else who also freaked themselves out. It's not worth it. Don't do it to yourself. Just study like 4 weeks before you know it's coming up. Study at least a full day. So that means like when you get to the weekend, those Saturday and Sunday, study a full day each week, and go over the things you know you don't know, and keep going over those things, and I promise you, you got it. They're not as scary as people make them out to be. Just don't sweat. I got a 4 on the biology exam, and so like, and again, this is coming from someone who literally missed their entire year of education. So just don't stress, breathe. Moving on, I also want to talk about clubs. Even if you're antisocial, because again, I was antisocial. I promise you, I was like, I kind of gained my social skills in high school. I was really antisocial. If my English teacher was here today to tell you, I would literally sit in the back of the corner and not say anything all to myself, like a recluse. So even still, join as many clubs as you can. I cannot stress that enough. Join clubs you think you might like, even if you're like, oh, well, maybe if no, join the club. If you think even a tiny smidgen of it you might like, join clubs that you're interested in, and even if it's a club you might think you might like or you may not like, just join clubs. Because when I tell you, if your friend's in a club and you're like, oh, I want to join this club, but because my friend's in it, but I may not like it, join the club, you know? Because worst case scenario, you don't like it, you can literally just leave the club. And best case scenario, you do like it and you end up finding like high school long friends in those clubs. Now, for me and my school, student council is a very big thing. So StuCo was one of the greatest clubs I could have ever joined. I loved being a part of it. I loved the people I met there and the friends that I met and the people I ended up taking with me through my life that I still kind of keep in touch with. And they're just very cool people. And so, yeah. If you don't like a club, that's okay. And if you don't like any of the clubs, if you end up just, oh, clubs are not for me. And this is also why I say don't take AP classes freshman year, because you need all the time in the world you can to figure yourself out and to figure clubs out and to meet new people and kind of like, because you're jumping from middle school to high school. And so this jump can be very shaky. Freshman year is where you find your footing and you come into your own, so to say. And so please just don't over like bear yourself with stuff. As I edit this, I want to kind of throw in the reason why I say don't kind of overindulge and put so much on your plate when it comes to homework and grades wise and AP classes is because you really truly need to worry and take charge of your mental health, because I didn't, and I ended up in a very bad place mentally. And so don't take your freshman year for granted, but also don't make it to where your freshman year is miserable for you mentally and that you have a mental breakdown because you can't handle it. Pace yourself. You're still learning, and that's okay. Don't bombard yourself with things, because that is probably one of the things I regret the most freshman year, is that I bombarded myself with so much and it caused a lot of mental distress, and just don't do it. So if you have all these AP classes, you can end up not being able to do a lot of clubs because you're constantly doing homework. And so the clubs are fun, and there were some of the greatest moments I had in high school was clubs and StuCo and decorating the halls for StuCo and going to Girl Up Club and just talking about things and all the food and the talking and people who share your similar ideas, and you find people and you become friends with them and you kind of share those moments, and it's really amazing. Last thing I want to talk about is social stuff. So like games and meeting new friends and teachers and stuff. So when it comes to social things like games, one thing I want to say about games is, even if you don't like sports, I don't like sports, go to the games, especially the rival games. If you have friends, go get nachos and get chips and get all that stuff and just scream your head off. Literally just scream your head off, even if you don't know what's going on. Every time we make a goal and you hear your side going crazy, go crazy. And I promise you, especially the homecoming game, for those who have homecoming, go to that one. Because it's different from all the other games. The rival game, where you play your rival team, and the homecoming game sometimes are one and the same. They usually play their rival team during homecoming, but sometimes they don't. So if it is the same game, then go to that one. But if they're two different games, go to both. And I promise you, you're going to love them. I loved the moments I had on that football field and those football games. And it was amazing. And it did kind of help because my dad was a coach, and so I got to like actually go on the field and stuff. But even still, even as someone who was in the stands when my dad stopped coaching, it was amazing. So go to football games, especially if football is very, very, very big in your school. If it's very, very big, then go. I promise you. More social things would be dances. Go to dances. Please go to dances. There are those some of the stupidest things happen at dances. If you can bring your friend, but even if you can't bring your friend, like, you can go alone and you can like sit on a table, and then like once like a song comes on, get up and dance. You don't even have to know what you're doing, I promise. Just get up and dance and go. Because like, I promise you, at school dances, when that one song comes on, everyone's losing their mind and everyone is just going crazy, and it's just a time to be alive. As for like cafeteria and like the people you're going to meet in your classes, I will say this is just, be mindful that some of these people can be fake. They can be two-faced. They can be playing in your face and be talking behind your back and stuff. So be careful. The cafeteria can be a very like scary place, as someone who can get very overstimulated very fast and who hates being around a lot of people, even still to this day. The cafeteria was kind of this big scary thing for me, and so there's a teacher that actually would let me eat in her class every day. And so find a teacher that you can kind of clink with. Even on the first day she let me, and I was like, hey, can I eat in here? I'm kind of too nervous to go into the cafeteria. And she was like, yeah, sure, eat here, I don't care. And she left her classroom door open, and I ate there. That's where I ate until I got some friends, and I started eating in the cafeteria, and I finally built up the confidence. So don't be afraid to ask teachers, especially if you think a teacher's nice. Those nice teachers really come in a pinch. Like those truly super nice teachers, the teachers who do people's hair, the teachers who let the students do the face paint on them, those teachers, I promise you that those teachers really do make high school so much more better and worth it in the end. Bullying. If you do get bullied, I'm gonna be honest with you, telling the principal won't really do much unless it turns into an altercation where it's happened more than once and people have threatened, like, you know their names. People have like threatened to do something to you, and then that's when the principal steps in. Anything else, I wouldn't count on a principal really helping. As someone who's gotten into many bullying altercations where I've had to go to the principal doesn't care or seemingly can't do anything about it. So just when in those situations, try to realize that they're just bullying you because they're pieces of shit and they are jobless and have nothing to do with their lives. So just kind of ignore them. Which is, I know what a lot of people say, and it is hard, but in the end, they're gonna be the ones who had a very shitty high school experience because they decided to take it out on other people, and you're gonna be the one having the best time of your life. And so I hope this is helpful. I hope you got like some knowledge after this. Please do not be scared of high school. Please do not be freaking out and being like, oh my God, freshman year. I promise you, it is a magical time, and I wish I could go back. Because one of the things, like in high school, you're always like, ugh, this 4 years is gonna go by so slow. Ugh, I'm gonna be in here forever. I'm gonna hate high school. And these are things that I said, and now I miss it. And every time I think about it, I get so sad. And it's just, you're gonna miss it, and it's gonna go by so quick. Each and every year, like clockwork. Freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, graduation, like that, in an instant. Also, freshmen, stay away from the upperclassmen. Please, I'm begging you. They don't want anything from you but your body. Please, don't mess with upperclassmen. I'm being so serious. In my high school career, the scandal that surrounded this girl who was a sophomore, who ended up around freshmen, and it did not end. I mean, she ended up around a senior, and it just did not. Don't do it. No, freshmen, sophomores, don't mess with the seniors. They're about to leave. They don't want anything from you but what you can offer them. So junior, maybe, that I can kind of see, but seniors, leave the seniors alone. Let them leave. Don't. And if a senior tries to mess with you, no. Don't entertain that. You got this. I promise you. You seem so small now, and it seems so big, and everything just seems so overwhelming, and you're going to have breakdowns, and you're going to have times where you're like, why am I doing this? But it's so fun. You can make it so fun, I promise. Do not let your high school go by without enjoying these 4 years. It's gonna be worth it, and I miss it so much. Even though sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm so glad it's over. You're going to be happy it's over once it's all said and done, excuse me. But you're also going to miss it a lot. And so please do not take this time for granted. Please learn and become responsible and grow. as a person, truly grow, expand your horizons, expand your perspective, and grow. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Good luck to all my freshmen out there. I'll see you next time. Bye.